making SWC is like the dream for every Smite player.
You want to go to Worlds, you want to compete against the best teams around the world.
Making us SWC would mean pretty much everything. It's what me and my team would work towards.
Making it, it'd be like a dream come true. And like, just getting that to that stage is, God, it's so amazing.
Making SWC for me would basically be the pinnacle of my Smite career. I've missed out 2 years in a row by a single game, the 5th match, and so this year I'm ready to take it.
I mean, everything to me. That's like the whole reason I'm still playing is like, I gotta make Worlds.
I don't even know if I could put that in words, you know? It would probably be my biggest achievement.
We're gonna make SWC this year, definitely, because my team is so driven.
I personally don't think any other team should be able to beat us as long as we're playing at our best.
It's always the end goal of every year, right? Is to make SWC. You did it, like you're doing well, and I mean that's what you play to make SWC.
It's the biggest accolade, you know, it's the biggest stage, and it's always been so close, but it's always evaded me.
As a team, I think it's all about synergy and being on the same page.
Making SWC would mean a lot to me. I have been around the team for a while. The first year of Smite World Championship, we got first place. Second year, we got third, fourth. This year, we're going back on top. This year is my year.
This year is my year.
This year
Is my year.
This year is my year.
This year is my year.
This year is my year.
This year is my year.
This year is my year.
This year is my year.
This year is my year.
I'm sorry, I just can't handle a roar. I really and truly can't handle a roar.
It's just a chunk, man.
He really is the chunkster. At the end of the day, we talk a lot about these players, and you know, Aror is he's something different. I'll never forget. We were here for the Allied fundraiser here, the Spring Fling, and everybody's told to their individual teams to take their aggressive stance, and Aror just puts his hands on his head like he's a deer with antlers. I got nothing. But you can meet him yourself. hi-rez.expo.com. If you use group-B as your promo code, you'll save yourself 25% on that ticket and everything else. And, you know, jokes aside, and as Twitch chat spams sell out, you really want to make it down there. It's a lot of fun. Not only do you get to meet Aror, but you also get to see his teammates. I certainly think that Eager will be a team that will make it not only to Super Regionals, but also Worlds. They're playing their absolute face-off. For a long time, Zapman has been on the top of the minds and the mouths of a lot of the players and a lot of the fans at home, but he has yet to be on top of the game. This year is his year.
Zap is. Let me think about Zap. What do I want to say about Zap?
Zap he's Zapman. He's always just done really good. He always plays super aggressive on lands. He always tries to go to land and show everybody he's the best player.
Zap's from New York, and I love that.
Obviously, we've played together for a long time now. And I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like at this point too, with where Smite is, I don't think I'd see myself playing with anyone else really.
Zap's always very confident and very assertive when it comes to doing things like Gold Furies, or where we can rotate and maybe get a kill every now and again. And then of course when it comes to team fights, he destroys everyone.
Yeah, being an owner over being a player is completely different, because as a player you kind of have this mindset of what you expect from brands, and you know, they make all this money and they do all this kind of stuff and they should provide everything for you, but you know, when you get to the business side of it, it's not that easy. I have to tell my guys what to do in certain aspects, like, oh, you gotta use this set of gear, or you know, use that. And to them, I'm more of a friend in a way, because you're a teammate, right? And teammate, you gotta be like brothers, you have that camaraderie and things like that, but then also I have to be an owner in a sense where I'm like, okay, no, you guys have to do this to this day, you gotta wear that, or do things like that. But with this guy, with this team, that's not really an issue.
Right there, you get to hear Zap talk a lot about the transformations that he's made, and he's certainly changed as a player and as a person, talking about some of the new responsibilities of being an owner and how he's really transformed and turned things around and become a little bit more responsible. And I think we see the same thing from BaRRaCCuDDa, a similar transformation, turning things around, although before he was a little bit passive, now it's all about aggression. BaRRaCCuDDa, he's aiming for one spot, and it's certainly Worlds.
BaRRaCCuDDa is my dad, you know, and he's just an amazing AC. This plate is really like going off. I'm like, I think he's definitely like insane.
Basically, if Bear's popping off, as people like to say, then LG is going to be tough to stop. But I also think that LG as a team, they play better as like just as a unit. They don't just necessarily need to like have one person go off. But yeah, Bear, I mean, like you said, Bear is like a Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame Smite player. There's pretty much nothing else that needs to be said.
Yeah, I think he just plays like pretty much perfectly. His mechanics are like pretty much perfect too. Doesn't really make mistakes, so he's like a really good example of a great hunter.
Out of all the duo lanes, I'm not saying this happens every game, but they really like to try to play for pressure, and it's just something that I've noticed over like all the years of Jeff and BaRRa playing is like the first 5 levels are going to try to pressure you every single time, no matter what.
BaRRa's my baby. I love BaRRa. He's the best hunter in the game by far, and I love playing with him every day. I wouldn't play with anyone else.
Now, I think a big part there was how that video ended. I think that was really important. Aror brought up, you can't really, Aror brought up Jeff sort of on accident. You can't really talk about BaRRa without Jeff. That video ends with looking at the back of the jerseys of BaRRa and Jeff. Tully, I mean, you've watched and played against these guys for a long time. What is it about? It's not just BaRRa, right? It's him and Jeff. It's that duo lane combined.
They've been playing together for so long, ever since COG, just the days. They've won the SWC the first season, and they're so comfortable together. They've been able to mold their style, like we mentioned before, how passive BaRRa was. It's not because of BaRRa's style, it's how he plays with Jeff, but now they're more comfortable together so they can expand beyond the horizons and play aggressive.
Absolutely. Bans coming out here. Ra and Sobek taken away by Luminosity from Team Eager. I think those are strong bans. Ra certainly is a huge part of what Eager has been doing all weekend. And Jingwei and Terra are going to be the bans from Team Eager. Luminosity is certainly really strong with that dual lane selection.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important for Eager to go ahead and take away the Jingwei. I mean, they saw Luminosity earlier today, flex picking that Jingwei. Even Xenotronics took it into the mid lane earlier, and you could see here Luminosity is obviously going to opt to go for that soul. Might as well secure a very comfortable pick for... I'm pretty sure that's going to be going to BaRRaCCuDDa. I can't really see any reasoning for Xeno to take it into the mid lane.
As I was writing down the soul pick in my paper, I accidentally was starting to write out BaRRaCCuDDa instead. That's how comfortable BaRRaCCuDDa is with soul. I don't think we've seen Xenotronics this weekend playing the soul, so more than likely it is going to be BaRRa playing soul.
And just like the soul leaves a lot of ambiguity on the side of where that's going, Ratatoskr does too. We haven't seen it yet in a long time, but Ratatoskr used to be more of a flex pick than it is right now for Team Eager, both winding up in the jungle and the solo lane. These days, we really just see DJ play it, but I always have that in the back of my mind. Maybe Divios will pull it out. The Janus for the best, certainly going to allow DJ to be as aggressive as he likes to be. A little bit safer there. Option over to Luminosity. You've got the Susano and one more selection.
I think the main reason why we haven't really seen this Ratatoskr pick being flexed into the solo lane for Divios is because Eager would rather opt for that Guardian pressure. It's a little bit safer for Divios to go ahead, because you've noticed this entire weekend he's been opting to build into the Hog, and I think Wrath of the God is very important as far as Eager's playstyle is concerned, because they really like using Divios on these Guardian kind of characters to use him as utility and more of a zoning factor away from other teams, or as an initiating factor. So I think that it's just safer for him to take up a Guardian over a Ratatoskr.
Freya gets locked in by Team Eager, and the last time we saw Zap play Freya, he absolutely obliterated the opposition. Now, that was against Noble, which is a very different team from Luminosity, but even with that in mind, this is a character that Zap has always really been able to hard carry on. So Eager, if you were questioning if they want to be a little bit passive or if they want to just take it to town, I think Eager clearly showing that they want to be very aggressive this game.
Once he gets the Fatalis, Zapman, he's going to be so aggressive, and then it works out in Eager's favor because of the global pressure that they have. They picked up this Ratatoskr and Janus to be able to synergize off of the aggression between these hyper side lane carries between Zapman and Divios. They both want to try to look for the one-on-one plays, and if they have any sort of advantage, they're going to push their luck and maybe go for some invades. We've even seen Divios playing the Sobek with the Wrath, being able to invade on numerous occasions.
I like the bans coming out from Luminosity. They banned the Guan Yu, and then they banned the Sylvanas as well. This is, I mean, Sylvanas is a character that Aror does like to play, but it's also, you know, what else has sustain? All right, let's just ban out the Sylvanas.
I think the only remaining sustain pick here, I mean, obviously Eager aren't going to opt for it considering the fact that they already have Janus locked in, but I really like Luminosity's idea in that they're just doing everything they can to ensure that Eager do not get to run this tanky sustain comp, because Guan, Sobek, Ra, Sylvanas. I mean, there's. I really don't think that other than a self-heal for himself on Erlang Shen, there's really just no options left for Eager really to try and pull out this heavy sustaining comp.
I was going to say if ShadowQ was on Team Eager, that we might see the Aphrodite support. That would be one option, but it is Aror. He likes these aggressive warrior style support sometimes, so more than likely going to be the Erlang Shen for him, and that's going to synergize pretty well whenever you can find the root cripple. We saw him last time against Luminosity, being able to really effectively shut down Xenotronics' Agni.
And, you know, as deep as those pockets go, I don't think we're going to see a hell anytime soon either. So, Team Eager, they look like this might be the first game, and Totally, you've got the P's and B's written down. This might be the first game that we see Team Eager play where they don't have an option for healing whatsoever. Do you think that's going to be an issue, Taco?
I really think that the only issue that Eager potentially can encounter, and in fact, it looks like they might even be taking this Ratatoskr into the solo lane for once, so I'll eat my words from earlier, but it looks like Luminosity honestly has a lot more crowd control as far as their draft is concerned. They have the Susano, they have the Raijin, and the Bacchus and the Amaterasu. That's a lot of crowd control that they could definitely pull out zoning potential onto Team Eager, so I'm not entirely certain how Eager's draft is going to really be viable for trying to deal with this.
Without the support of the sustain, Team Eager opt to go aggressive. A lot of damage here, many assassins. We'll see if it works out, and the casters are going to bring it to us. One more time, it's Hindu, and it's aggro.
Thanks so much, JeffHindla. And obviously this draft, I was not expecting to see this composition out of Eager here. The last couple of picks, crazy.
You always know something's got, Eager's got something up their
So who's
sleeve.
solo?
I'm gonna guess it's gonna. Oh
Bastet,
God, I don't
Ratatoskr,
know.
Erlang
When I
Shen?
think of like Assassin Solo in Divios, Ratatoskr is obviously the first one that comes to my mind, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bastet in the solo lane either.
Why the Bastet though?
You can laning, if you rush Transcendence, you can laning phase pretty well overall. Plus your poke is very heavy overall as Bastet as well. Your tower push, your split push potential, you want it a lot. You'll see DJ go teleport on Bastet anyways, so buying teleport on Bastet isn't a big deal. Yeah, you're without purification for the first 12 levels, but accelerating Bastet into that mid game where she starts to get a little bit stronger. Her early game is pretty notoriously weak, even with the recent buffs. Accelerating her into that mid game would help, but it is going to be DJ on this Bastet.
I mean, we wondered who else had things left in their pool to bring out, and a game to do it for Eager here is definitely this one against Luminosity. Two big powerhouse teams here in North America. Eager, if they can 2-0 Luminosity again, the same way they did on day one, they will go to 10 points.
This is if either team gets 2-0 here, they're sitting real pretty going into the final day, but both spots up for grabs.
Now, Divios is Ratatoskr here. Obviously, the side of Eager have gone for very high mobility and burst damage. They've not got a lot of survivability, though, if they get caught.
No, like F. mentioned, no sustain for the first time, we think, for Eager in this group stage LAN. And Divios will have a little bit of sustain overall. Aurora will with the ultimate.
He's going to steal, you know.
No real sustain coming out for anyone on Eager.
Sneaky little squirrel hanging around the jungle, in the trees and the bushes. And obviously, when you're that small, it's very hard to spot you sometimes. Look at his decision. He's going to steal this.
He's going to go for it at least. There is a ward right outside that speed buff. They might see him.
DJ's doing it as well, it seems. So they're going to have two. But actually, they have an idea something's going on, and Divios gets spotted, but going to rotate round towards djpernicus. And at the beginning of the game, we're going to call this a no experience solo lane.
This is the awkward dance. But Eager doesn't want to give it up. They're the ones with the wrath. But wisely, Luminosity just standing pat, letting Eager waste the time that both teams are wasting time realistically.
Who does this benefit, though? Overall, who does this really benefit?
I think it benefits Xeno because you see that he's going to get that pressure in the mid lane, and then he's going to be able to rotate out. But it looks like Aror came to mid. Now Zapman is in the is by himself in duo lane.
Well, we've seen this happen a couple of times where they're happy to give Zapman solo farm here, and Zapman's experience here will help him out a bit. And with that, you can actually see JeffHindla is going to make a rotation as well.
Okay, so actually Eager started on the left-hand mid, so Aror and Best got the left-hand mids with Zap. They do the red buff as well. And then this is definitely in Eager's favor. Look, the Best, level 3, Xeno's level 2. You see Aror level 2. Zapman got a full wave, and it looks like it's going to be more of solo farm.
But with Luminosity pressure in mid lane there, they could either rotate towards the enemy speed buff, do their own, or these Raijin Harpies. The Raijin Harpies is the selection they're going for right now.
And Auror's sticking around. They're content to let Zapman and BaRRaCCuDDa get that solo farm. This is like the earliest 3v3 group up you will ever see.
Well, I'll talk about the Jones lane a little bit more, but at the moment the speed buff is being done by Luminosity with 4 members here to secure it for LG. They get a small window of advantage now because they have their jungler with the speed.
Finally someone has it, but Divios does have the Wrath still available, and it looks like they're going to be looking at the blue for Scary D. This is going to set Scary D far behind if they give it up.
But the rotation from Jaffney flops
nice
on 2.
Flop.
Mass around the corner, but Mass gets pounced on, and Mass is bleeding. He's in trouble. DJ gets first blood with the pounce back. Next up is Scary D. Still in a world of hurt. The portal from Best. Well, the unstable Vortex didn't connect, however, but Scary D will fall down to Aror.
Xeno's going to dash in onto 4. What is he doing? The Purification. JeffHindla going to try and follow up.
Crazy.
Tons of damage. Look at the action early.
I actually think the call from Xenotronics to dash in there was wise. I mean, he knew the abilities were on cooldown. It's very early game. We're going to get a pause. Jeez, what a start to this game.
I mean, you got everything. You got invades, you got waiting, you got everything you could possibly do. What a crazy start. But at the end of the day, Eager's the one who's up 2 kills to 0.
So, recap. Very, very quick recap of what we saw in this game already on. We saw an invasion attempt coming out from Eager. It got denied. They went to invade again. It got denied again. They went to farm. They poked it out. The mid laners ended up trading pretty evenly there. And then the speed buff invade didn't work. But the blue buff invade that ended up going on caused a fight that goes in their favor.
So Jeff started the fight off with a great double belly flop. And then Mass comes in to try and follow up. But Mastiff was just immediately turned on, uses the Purification, still gets first blooded. So now he's really far behind because he's got no relic. He's the one giving up the first blood. And then Scary D goes in, gets the dash portaled away by Best. A perfect portal by him. Picks up the double kill for them. Xeno gets everyone low. Thunder crashes in, not quite enough damage. Then he has to use the Purification. And, we're only like 2 minutes in.
Oh, yes,
all that's
just so you know, and there's still both blue buffs available. Remember that one at home as well. There's a lot to talk about in this game, but it got off to a very quick start here. That Wrath from Divios expected by LG quite clearly by their ward placements.
Exactly, and that it ended up being okay for the most part until that engagement went wrong. And I don't know if the call to fight there was made by Jeff alone or if Mass wanted him to go in. Just not the right engagement because they just saved their cooldowns all for the very squishy Susano.
Now the biggest thing that came out of that was djpernicus on the jungle Bastet got first blood. It helps his build a little bit more, which escalates his early game.
And that's exactly what you want. We mentioned why Bastet would be good in the solo lane to get her out of that weak early that she has. And now she's in the jungle, has a kill and an assist, sitting up about 400 gold right now.
Solo
looking real good.
Divios, level 4, the level 3 for Scary D right now. He's playing a very defensive god here as well. And Divios happy to try and trade out with the sustain he has early.
No, he doesn't have any sustain yet. I think you need to get that third tier of the Acorn. But here's the advantage of Rat in the solo lane is that he doesn't have to back to get that Acorn that's oh so important for him.
And the trade is going very well, but Divios has turned it around. Divios will get the kill, sorry, not first blood. I got way too excited then about first blood. And Mass will clean it up and hit level 5 off it.
But that is the Wrath down for Divios, but really, really bad for Scary D because this is his second death.
Yes.
He's already used the teleport to get back in the lane after dying early.
And not only that, Mass took the farm that was there, and Divios got that farm before he died too. So even more impact onto Scary D, who sits at level 4.
Only about 300 gold up right now for Divios, but at least Mass is able to come in and rotate and make that happen. If Divios could have been able to live there, that would have been disastrous because that Divios is huge. He hasn't been killed yet, and he's getting even more and more farm. But instead, Mass gets that kill, gets himself some much-needed golden experience as well.
Well, it's a 1,000 gold lead right now for Eager with the start of this game and how it's begun here between the two teams. We've not even talked about the two star players that we expected to be the ones to watch in BaRRaCCuDDa and Zapman, because there's been action everywhere else.
There's still action in the solo lane. Scary D has to be careful about getting that dash block. That's the third time it's happened, but you're right. Let's talk about the two stars that everyone was predicting are BaRRaCCuDDa and Zapman.
And the Hunters, I mean, they've been left alone early on, which means they're going to power spike a little bit earlier. You can see they're both level 7, the highest players in the game because the supports left the lane very early on.
This is the dream for the Hunters, man. Getting this much solo farm early. Look, BaRRaCCuDDa's level 8 already.
Now, they play this matchup as well, though, Aggro, in the first time they faced off against each other. Sol versus Freya, BaRRaCCuDDa versus Zap. And BaRRa actually got some very good trades off.
BaRRa even got the solo kill on his Zap, diving the tier 1 tower when Zap had faked the back. He did a little wraparound and caught him out. And even gave Zap a little pop-off, asking what he was doing, still staying there. He called him greedy, but...
How much of a dream is this for BaRRaCCuDDa and Zap, though? Like, when you look at their builds right now, BaRRa's got full boots online. Haste and Fatalities. Finished for Zapman as well? Are you serious at 5 minutes in?
This is the strategy for both teams. They both trust their hunters are the best hunters in the game. You hear Jeff say, Bear is without a doubt the best hunter in North America. I interviewed djpernicus. He told me there's no doubt in his mind that Zapman's the best hunter in the world. So both teams are okay with this because both have that trust in their veteran leaders and the star players, BaRRaCCuDDa and Zapman, that each one will carry the game.
All over the solo lane, still a level lead there for Divios. So Xenotronics in mid lane, still farming up, doesn't have full boots online yet, but his lane opponent, TheBest, has finished his first item.
And that's because he was able to get 2 assists, where Xeno basically got a whole lot of nothing for all the damage he did in the fight. And you can see, I mean, still sitting there, he probably got all 900 of that damage in that first engagement. But you're right, that lead for Best is definitely going to help him out. But going for this Dynasty plate helm, instead of going for the boots, there isn't going to be a whole lot of mobility for Best. This is the time where Janus is still vulnerable. Not going to be doing a whole lot of damage, no mobility, no cooldown yet, though I believe Best is another one of the Janus players who hasn't gone cooldown so far.
No, he's not a big proponent of it for the most part. We'll maybe get a Chronos Pendant now and again there. The big person I'm looking at on Luminosity, though, is definitely masked this game. The amount of mobility Eager has here, his jet stream can chase any one of these targets down, but it's not an easy task.
No, and he's got to be careful because you can really get outplayed, specifically by Bastet. Let's say Mask throws that jet stream onto her. She jumps, he teleports like, all right, I got her.
Back.
And then she pounces back, and then all of a sudden, Mast is up a creek without a paddle, nowhere to go. He's got to be very careful with that cooldown, but the mobility overall from Eager is just crazy high.
Well, Fire Elemental's already down again there, I believe. TheBest picked those ones up left, and Harpy's being contested here by JeffHindla, trying to stop the boys of Eager taking them. I think it was a little bit too late, though.
Not able to get them, and now Zap level 10. Already.
This is the time where these two hunters get to shine too, you know? A game like this where it all starts in the solo side of things, every other lane is behind, and the two hunters are still being left alone. This is going to be all about BaRRa and Zap, I feel.
This is the extreme of the meta right now. The first 10 minutes while these Fire Elementals are available, the entire game is basically played on the right side of the map. After that, the attention focuses towards Gold Fury, and that's when you start to see hunters get involved. This is like the extreme scenario where that's even more intense.
But at the same time, as we watch Bast in mid lane pull into Tornado, use space and time fight up to get out of trouble. They're trying to get to that as well as Mass jumps out. Meanwhile, DJ pounced in and pounced out again. Uses the portals to get away. Xenotronics last one to leave with the Thunder Crush. Nobody dies.
A lot of damage, a lot of ults, and not a lot of kills. Everyone gets out alive. Mass, a little bit fortunate that DJ didn't predict where he was going with that pounce, because he could have definitely fallen there, being very aggressive. But I love the aggressiveness overall. Yeah, Mass could have been punished, but again, I'd much rather have my land rookie be punished for being a little bit too aggressive, not overly so, than playing scared and playing too far back.
And on top of that, now you saw Zapman's game earlier on against Noble on that Freya. You can see he's already looking to box with their Fatalis. He's going up to the wave, getting in range for the banish, but he's against BaRRaCCuDDa, who knows Zapman very, very well, and he knows what he's looking for.
These two have been playing up against each other for what feels like forever. I mean, launch tournament, whatever. They've been there and they've been fighting constantly, and you can see the experience. You're right. I mean, BaRRa knows how Zap wants to play.
Yep.
Zap knows how BaRRa wants to play, and especially on these two gods, like you mentioned, where they saw each other on both of these before. Day one, it was Zapman who kind of got bested in this lane. His team ended up winning the game, which I'm sure is all that Zap cares about.
but in lane, it was BaRRaCCuDDa who was pushing the pace.
I think one of the things we could see out of this game as well, Agro, as it goes on, is with LG and Eager, it's the team that doesn't realize how powerful the other hunter is because of all the free farm they've had all game.
That's right. It's going to be ScaryD diving into Zapman. It's,
And
oh
like,
my
what?
God, he's 2 levels up on me. What
How
happened?
did he do all that damage? Yeah, and I think the same way with Sol. I mean, if we see DJ going and he eats a stellar burst, well, Kitty Cat could be back in a cage.
And Sol's got a pretty decent matchup against Bastet, but there's a dash blocked yet again for ScaryD. Dazzling Offensive going to try and get him out. Stuns DJ and the Cats. Now Masked is here, trying to get some damage, but the Cats are beating him up.
But Ratatoskr in the side. Divios defending, helped out and will block Jeff from coming in. On top of that, Aror is also here too, but Xeno wants the kill. He wants DJ, and he'll get DJ too. Aror with a taunt in space and time from Best comes through. Good damage on Xeno, but he retreats as well. 1-for-0 exchange.
Nice job. Great rotation by Luminosity there. Coming in, it was the aggression on the ScaryD. Let's be real here. DJ misplayed by getting stunned by that Dazzling Offensive. There is no reason for him to be that close and get himself stunned. If he's able to keep up that aggression afterwards, maybe they get that kill and it's a 1-for-1 trade evenly. Instead, does get stunned, no purification available. Xeno makes the rotation. A lot of ultimates used on DJ, but at the end of the day, it's a kill on the Eager jungler.
And it's Xenotronics who gets the kill as well. Very important for him to start stepping up. Now, Divios over in the solo lane hasn't bagged just yet. Doesn't have teleport, remember, either. But he's maybe forced out here on that side. Meanwhile, Hunters are going at it.
There's the ultimate from BaRRaCCuDDa, but he's immuting all of this damage.
But DJ's round the back as well, so be careful. He might come in DJ as well. Zap's actually running away because Master's here too. Both junglers turn up and the engagement falls back.
These hunters are just so even. I mean, these are 2 veteran hunters who have been around forever. We've talked about it already. Star players.
Yep.
And they're trading ultimate for ultimate, both getting low, but BaRRaCCuDDa is the one who's able to stay in lane and continue to farm. Oh, classic Zapman stays around half health, no ult. He's good to farm, man. No worries.
Follow along with Aror here as well, playing this Erlang Shen, which he's the real proponent of doing this over and over. We've seen a little bit of it out of Trickstank, but Aror really likes this pickup. And the one thing a lot of people forget about, and this is a big one, the pin. If it connects in the middle, it is a cripple, and that really hurts at Luminosity.
It's a root cripple, and Xenotronics is going to have to blow purification to get out of it. It is a substantially long CC as well. Easy to confirm. It does have a longer cooldown now. I think it's down to up to 16 seconds after the most recent changes to Erlang Shen, but easy to confirm, and I heard Luminosity talking. You have to treat Erlang like you treat Athena. If you're close enough to get taunted, you're out of position. If you're close enough to get pinned, you're out of position. You need to respect it.
And when you look at Bacchus, he's going to want to flop in. Well, he can't if he's crippled. You want Xenotronics to Thunder Crash in or away. Can't because crippled. And Masked as well. His whole kit relies on being able to move.
Exactly. ScaryD can't dash if he's crippled.
We'll talk about ScaryD a little bit more. You're talking about those dashes. A lot of them have been blocked in this solo lane already. That's not the best thing in the world when you're looking at your solo laner right now.
On paper, oh yeah, Amaterasu's got a pretty quick dash. No worries. I'm pretty safe, but unlike a lot of dashes, you are stopped on the dot if it hits someone. Only an enemy god. It'll go through minions. So you'll see Divios, you've seen DJ, just step in front. Make sure you can step in front of that, absorb that silence and the damage, then cut off his escape path.
Well, ScaryD now is on Amaterasu after all, so he can start to weather the storm of the damage coming out from Divios. And Divios, not going for a full damage build here, has invested into the Breastplate of Valor.
Still a solo laner. Still going for some damage reduction, cooldown, the typical solo lane build. And I like that call from Divios.
Jeff has an idea the Gold Fury is going on because Aurora is keeping him busy right now, but the Gold Fury is very, very low right now, and Eager are going to take it away. The Wrath comes into play from Divios.
And Xenotronics actually blew the ultimate there as well and got a whole lot of nothing for it. Divios making the play with the Wrath, and you're right, Jeff definitely sniffed it out.
He knew.
Was trying to get in there, just wasn't able to do so.
He knew. The way Aurora was doing that, he knew someone was going to... I just looked at the camera then, and I just saw a hat, and I was like, there's nobody sat in that chair. Was it someone... Is Luminosity playing 4v5? It looked like it for a second.
No, sometimes it looks like Luminosity's playing 4v5, but not today. Everyone's looking a lot better, the rookies for LG, but in this game, it's been Eager in control, up about 3,000 gold right now, and it's basically been control all over the map. BaRRaCCuDDa's doing a nice job by himself. I keep wanting to call it a solo lane because it may as well be at this point.
It could be with the way this game's gone and how the Hunters have been left alone here. The Warlock slash for BaRRaCCuDDa, it's something we've seen him do before. The extra health will help him out in these engagements a little bit, and the damage too.
He's already got 48 stacks? Yes. Holy cow, we're at 13 minutes into the game. This is the benefit. Okay, so normally I do not like Warlock Sash on Soul. I just feel like it delays your power spike super long. you're very, very safe in general. You've got your Disapparate, you've got the heal. You're able to stay pretty far in the back and not worry about taking so much damage. So the health isn't usually quite as relevant. But in this scenario where he's getting this much solo farm throughout the game, it's totally fine. We're at 14 minutes. You'll see mid laners basically still be waiting to finish their Warlock Sash at 15 minutes. Instead, BaRRaCCuDDa's almost over halfway done now, stacking this item. Great pickup by him.
Notice the fact that he's not stacking there either. He had 3 minions could have auto down, but instead freezing the wave brings Zapman to you. When Zapman turns up, he'll probably clear in full. And there you go, example number 1.
Right away, Zap lost 2 creeps. And you might be saying in Twitch chat, oh, who cares? It's 2 creeps. BaRRaCCuDDa cares that Zapman lost 2 creeps.
And Zapman will care.
Zapman really cares
Zapman
that
will
he
be so
lost 2
salty
creeps.
that he lost 2 creeps. They're like, why do you do that, man? Let's just farm.
Exactly. He would much rather have that happening.
Talking about farm, I don't think Barry's after just farm there. That Stellar Burst aimed his way, but now Zap has advantage with the Stellar Burst being down, but Barry's not scared of a trade.
BaRRaCCuDDa is not scared of the trade because this Disapparate is so strong up against Freya. Not only are you able to compete with that movement speed and Fatalis effect that Freya has whenever she always builds Fatalis, every Freya does, but you also have that immune. We saw it come into play earlier in that left-hand side. If you're able to immune a lot of that Pulse of Radiate combo, that's where all of Freya's damage comes from. You have to be able to bait that out, and then you've got the advantage after those cooldowns are down.
Well, right inside the speed buff is respawning, but meanwhile, you can see Scary D was looking to steal away the blue buff and didn't. Now he's forced to ult defensively.
Not able to get the speed, not able to hold his ult. Scary D, I like the idea, but he has to know that everyone's coming. Quick ultimate, kind of surprised that DJ didn't want to pursue that further, but as a typical jungler, my speed buff's up and nothing else matters. I'm going to get it.
Now, we mentioned the World Touch a couple of times from BaRRaCCuDDa, but also he's against a very heavy dive assassin comp here. Divios is going to be looking for him, and Bastet and those bleeds. And then not only that, you've got through space and time that can get fired. Yeah, Disapparate will save some of that, but health helps.
Very true, and Disapparate does take a little bit of time to go off. You are very vulnerable in that time where you're waiting to become immune, and it's sometimes whenever you're getting dove, it feels like an absolute eternity, but BaRRaCCuDDa seems oh no, tell me about it. I'm never allowed to play Soul in mid lane, so I always just hate Souls because they kill me instead of me killing other people.
But to be fair, I mean, Freya also can make herself immune and take herself out of combat, so it's kind of even between the two.
Yeah, but that's an ultimate overall.
True.
Jeff looking to get aggressive in the mid lane. Purification forced there by DJ, and that's all LG wanted. Great job waiting and just playing patiently. They don't need to force it.
Look at BaRRa there. BaRRa was already on that hot rotation round for that fight in mid lane. He's been very good at this.
And that's fall split BaRRaCCuDDa right there. We've seen him do it again and again during the online stages. Just wanting to make that rotation in, wanting to fight. Season 2 BaRRaCCuDDa, not there at that time. Season 3 fall split BaRRaCCuDDa, he's there, man, every time.
I mean, I was joking about the fact that this could be Zapman versus BaRRa, everyone's going to underestimate their damage, but they are still ahead of everybody in this game in terms of level. Look at the difference between them and their support. That's the big key here for me. Obviously, BaRRa's 2 levels down on Aror, who Aror's very good at picking up that farm from across the map, but the fact those mages will burst those 2 supports down very quickly.
Very, very quickly. And one of the big reasons why Aurora is so far ahead is because he opted for those Teleria boots as opposed to the reinforced Greaves for Bacchus. JeffHindla sacrificing his gold gain for that extra protection.
But he also sacrifices experience there as well because of the rotational ability from the Erlang Shen as well, which comes into play and gives that level difference.
The type of player Jeff is, though, he's fine with that. Yeah. He doesn't really care as long as he's able to peel for his team and make sure
as he walks into Freya.
Well, I mean, he would if he's level 14, it doesn't do him a whole lot of good either,
That's
right?
True.
He's going to get shredded probably no matter what. And you see Jeff actually went for the Sovereignty first instead of the Heartward Amulet. A little bit surprised to see that with both Zap and Best going to be doing a ton of damage with Magical.
Very true indeed, but I guess he's a little bit worried about DJ and Ratatoskr as well, played by Divios here. As this game continues on. I know I'm bigging up the BaRRa versus Zap fight, but it's really going to be that. It's like the calm before the storm this game right now. When they start making rotations and it's a 5-on-5 fight, they're the 2 names that you need to see. Who's going to die first is a real question.
Exactly, and in the LG versus Noble game, it came down to who was going to carry harder, Walrus or BaRRaCCuDDa. Turned out, BaRRaCCuDDa is really, really good at the game of Smite and was able to carry that game basically single-handedly, if we're being realistic, by himself, earning that victory for Luminosity. Here, it's going to be a very similar story. Who can make the bigger plays? Who can put the team on their back and carry them to victory?
Scary D looking for round 2 of the blue buff, and round 2 does not work yet again. Now he's under pressure one more time, forced to ult defensively. This time, though, djpernicus could continue chasing down, but with Divios wanting to clear the camp out and reset it, the decision is made to fall back.
With the Gold Fury up, he didn't want to go. Nice pin, knock up by Mask. Gonna be forced out, but no purification. Good patience there from Mask. Willing to take a little bit of extra damage, but doesn't use that ever important purification.
Yeah, the big thing there was Best didn't really get a full combo off. The Soul Reaver was not used in that. It was available. If that burst would have come through, I think we would have seen the purification a little bit quicker.
Soul Reaver, third item. This is like what Best loves to do, but I'm not a huge fan. But Eager, a huge fan of doing this. Gold Fury getting very low already.
Wrath on Luminosity either. Remember that Eager should be able to get the second one quickly, and they will get this one. However, the fight may not be in their favor. Divios takes to the sky. The space and time is going to move Eager all the way towards mid lane, but grouped up is Luminosity still.
Taking a ton of damage as Mass. Divios comes crashing down, but he's so low. Xeno doesn't know he's there, though. Xeno's taking a ton of damage from DJ. Force the Sanctuary. Best looking to pick him up. Masked very low as well.
Best has got this kill on Xeno on the left-hand side. Zapman is very low in mid, as is Aror, but the turtle will come into play, and the turtle will waddle his way back to safety. Pern's not done, though. Kitty Cat's here. Gets to bleed on Soul, but decides to back away after. 1-for-0. Gold Fury, Eager.
Huge play by Eager. BaRRa did a ton of damage in that fight, but just wasn't quite enough. The Gold Fury potential from Eager is really, really strong. The Bastet Cats really, really good at tagging up that Gold Fury and doing excellent damage up against it, as well as the Wrath, like you mentioned. None available for Luminosity. Divios gets it. They did group up. They took a lot of damage from the Stellar Burst Supernova combination, but it didn't matter.
Is this an adjustment, though, that we should have seen out of Luminosity? Seeing the Wrath available, should they have got the one themselves, or do you think it's more important for the team fights?
I know that Jeff loves Shell. I was talking to BaRRaCCuDDa about it yesterday. I was asking him why he didn't get any weakening curse up against Raw and Eager yesterday, but he said Jeff just loves Shell so much. Very surprised to see no sprints, though. Look at all the slows on the side of Eager. You've got Bastet, very potent slow on the ultimate and the Razor Whip. You've got Freya, who's going to be slowing you. The Threshold from Janus going to be slowing you. And plus, even if there weren't a lot of slows, Sprint is just such a great chase, disengage. It does everything for you. Instead, a second meditation coming out of Jeff. I don't know if I think I would have preferred the Sprint.
I can understand if they're not going to pick Sprint, invest into a Wing Blade, but when you look at the itemization coming out here, Wing Blade isn't on the cards from anyone on the team just yet.
No, but Aror has it. Aror doesn't want to get slowed by that Stellar Burst.
That turtle form, you know?
Oh, huge shield coming out, and it looks like he's leveling that ability too. Most of the time for junglers and solo laners on Erlang Shen, you see them level that first ability, the Exposed Weakness. Instead, Aror leveling up 72 Transformation gives him extra shields on the turtle form, and it saved his life there in the mid lane.
And now with this at 21 minutes in, the two Gold Furies the way of Eager. They're just playing this very calculated here. You saw Scary did get the tier 1 tower on the right-hand side, but Eager then answered it back with Divios and djpernicus pressuring it back in response. So we're even other than the Gold Furies.
Eager is playing chess right now, and Luminosity is also playing chess. Eager just is so calculated all the time with everything they do. If you make one step too far, they're going to take something from you.
However, left-hand side, djpernicus looking at BaRRa, and BaRRa's going to give him a trade back. Pounce out from DJ. The rotation from Luminosity is on its way as well. Master's here with the speed buff. DJ does not have it, and actually DJ drops the cast defensively here as Zapman ults as well.
Both ults there. Jeff still wants to go aggressive, but it's Aror here taking a ton of damage as Jeff. There's the taunt coming in from Aror.
Let's have a listen to Eager on the Steel Series listening.
Listen there. Rob might look for this still.
I med still.
That's Shell. My Shell and better down. I'm still a little weak here. We have Red ult down, Freya ult down, Erlang ult down, Bastet ult down, all their ults down.
I can go in door. I can dash over.
Yeah, I'm defending mid right now.
Nice. Bees down, Janus, bees down.
Nice.
Good job.
That's Erlang med.
Okay.
I had to be.
Keep pushing, guys. Keep pushing. You got a root? You got a root?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm moving
No, I don't have it. I ulted.
Yeah, one
now.
That's TP down on Janus.
Careful, shy.
I got it back up.
Okay.
Push this. Reset. Gold's coming up soon.
Carefully traded TPs. I'm back. My TP's.
Okay, back again. Now, what you did see there, you heard at first it was Luminosity for the first few minutes, then you heard Eager. I know some of the screens are different, but we got a bit of a listening from both situations there, from both teams.
That was like a Smite game show. Who are you? Whose comms are you listening to?
Whose
right
voice
now?
is that?
Yeah, exactly. First, you heard Jeff with a lot of communication. Then came Zapman asking, saying, "Let's play it slow."
And Zapman is one of these players as well. This is the best thing. When Zap gets ahead and he's very comfortable, and he's not ahead in terms of kills, but he is in terms of levels. And when Zap gets big, his mouth starts to run. He starts to lead. He's like, guys, I am ready. Let us win this game. And for him to be the common influence there, very interesting.
It's the sleeping giant that is Zapman. You don't want to let him get going, and giving him all that solo farm. He's 0-0-0. Literally 6 damage more than Jeff for last damage in the game. But none of that matters. You're
right
Freya
now.
at 24 minutes. It's only going to take one team fight, and he can easily do 7,000 damage in that fight.
I mean, it's only 1,600 damage between him and Sol, and Sol has an easier time with one Stellar Burst, can put 1,600 damage out in one fight right now.
More or less, and he probably did all that damage in that one fight on the Gold Fury where he hit the Stellar Burst Supernova combination. This game is close, but it's definitely in Eager's favor. I mean, it's a 5,000 gold lead for them overall. They've been doing a perfect job of moving LG around the map and taking wherever they aren't. And it's best in the mid lane. Also had about a 2.5 level lead over top of Xenotronics. Again, Xeno falling behind in farm.
It is a very slow lead, a slow bleed, I want to say, from Eager this game, and it's a decent lead as well. This next Gold Fury, I think, is very pinnacle in the state of this game.
Absolutely, because Eager, if they get it, then they're sitting up about 7,000 gold, 6,500, closer to that probably. And then they're in a great spot to win the game after that.
I think if LG, though, can win a team fight off the back of that, a big team fight, they could answer that and make it even overall, get a couple of towers for themselves, get some map pressure going for themselves as well. And realistically, with the fact they don't have a Wrath, it could be the situation they're looking for.
Without a doubt. Let Eager go in and try and secure it with that Wrath and then win the fight afterwards. If that fight that we saw before on the Gold Fury, where it's just Xeno that falls, if that happens here at 25 minutes, that's probably a wipe on Eager just because of the damage that BaRRa was able to put out.
Eager looking to zone out the boys of Luminosity here. You saw the Thunder Crash away as well from Xenotronics. And now they're going to pull the Gold Fury again, Eager. JeffHindla and BaRRaCCuDDa. BaRRaCCuDDa's not too scared to walk up here. Not worried about Aurora at all. He is level 20, so it's actually a little bit more tankier of a mage.
Especially with that Warlock Sash, man. He's got a ton of health, but Aurora's level 17 on the support right now. So everyone has just been farming like crazy this game. It's been kind of slow overall through the first 25 minutes, but fireworks are about to start going off.
And you talk about that, the lead that Aurora has over Jeff, that could come into play. 3 levels is actually a big difference. 2 normal for supports, but 3 is where the gap starts to climb. And Jeff's not going to be as tanky as he wants to on the front line without those natural base stats coming through.
And look at the items. Aurora has an extra item over top of Jeff. Jeff went for the Mark of the Vanguard, while as Aurora went for the Wing Blade. That is just a straight up full Wing Blade that he has over Jeff right now. So going to be able to immune those slows, have that extra HP, and the CC reduction as well.
Well, this is the benefit Eager have here, because if they're going to group up with the Gold Fury Luminosity, djpernicus will split push you to death. You want a Gold Fury? It's worth 1,500 gold at this stage? Well, you know what? So it is a tier 2 tower.
Chess from Eager. Yet again, they overextend one piece, and then DJ takes their pawn on the right-hand side. The tier 2 tower. Oh, and also your blue buff. You don't get that either.
And now with this Luminosity, kind of forced into a tricky situation. They know DJ was on the right, so they're going to try and force the Gold Fury, but the boys of Eager are waiting. Meanwhile, on the front line, JeffHindla's taking a lot of poke, but Zapman's in a bit of trouble over here, trying to trade out with the bat.
Typhoon gonna miss. Zapman up in the air, very low, putting out as much damage as he can. Goes through the portal, but ScaryD's waiting for him. Mast falling very low to Divios to the backside. BaRRaCCuDDa able to pick up Zapman.
And Aurora's on the run, trying to run away from the whole team of LG. Great knock-up, great pin, but silenced out by Scary. Round the back comes Divios to create a distraction here. He's looking at BaRRaCCuDDa, gonna help out his boy in the back, TheBest. Best out for a portal on the right, and now ScaryD is overcommitted. ScaryD needs help, and he's running for his life.
No ultimate available for ScaryD. There's the dash, there's the movement speed aura, and it looks like it's gonna be a straight up 1-for-0 trade in favor of Luminosity. That's the first time that they've been able to take any sort of significant lead in this game. Not only do they win the fight, they get the tier 1 tower in middle as well.
And the Gold Fury still stands too. So overall there, Zapman and a tier 1 tower for a tier 2 in the right. This still favors Eager though.
Overall, yes. But
just now.
But there's as the game goes later and DJ split pushes more and more, there's less towers for him to split push. There's a limited amount of structures on the map that he can do that to.
Here we go. Best is back. So is Aurora. They're looking to defend this and force them back. Scary initiates. Ultimate onto 2. Divios in the backside, trying to keep them busy. Going to take to the sky and make sure BaRRa is very low. Aurora escapes 2, so the Gold Fury is reset.
That's all they needed. It is 2 ultimates, 1 on each side there. BaRRaCCuDDa and Xeno still haven't gotten theirs off of cooldown, but those with CDR, Ama and Divios had theirs.
Now the Best is back, as is djpernicus, but the Gold Fury's already down. Luminosity get it. And now DJ's in a bit of trouble on this right-hand side, but has Medjai's Blessing, so extra CC control there.
Typhoon used by Mass to just keep Best away. Didn't want him to ult to try and chase down the rest of Luminosity. And this Gold Fury, ever so important, keeps Luminosity in this game. Lead still definitely in Eager's favor.
And with this tier 1 tower now being pressured too, the boys of Luminosity have to back up. So the lead, even though you said they've got a Gold Fury, let's go to the graphs and you'll see, with the speed buff now being invaded too, Eager is still in the same position.
Barely any spike up from that gold. Again, Eager playing chess, moving you over, baiting out one of your pieces and then taking whatever you have to give up, because they're making you make a choice. Do you want to defend gold or defend your right-hand tower? And as soon as you make that choice, we'll take whatever you don't want. I think that the call to give up the tier 2 tower on the right was the better call there for Luminosity. DJ does not have an unlimited number of towers, like I mentioned. There are, eventually he's going to run out of towers to split push, but by that time it might be too late for LG.
Divios under pressure, has his ultimate available though, and will use it knowing that the full pressure was there, but getting Scary's ult in response made it worthwhile.
Scary's ult is on a very, very short cooldown overall, though he does have some CDR, does Divios, so that ult will be coming up fairly soon, but
40 seconds
only
already.
40 seconds on Dazzling Offensive. Dude, I get dove by Dazzling Offensive as a mage so often.
Can you stop acting like a player?
It's always up.
Stop
It's always up. How does he always have that ultimate available?
And with that, it's 4-3, 7 kills in a 29-minute game. It has been action-packed though. The start of this game threw the game off completely. We got a couple of early kills, and since then, it's been tactical battles from the boys of Eager and djpernicus.
This is kind of like a pitching duel in baseball, where the casual fan will be watching and say, oh, this is boring, there's no home runs, there's no action. But for the intense Smite fan, this is an absolutely fascinating game to watch. So much strategy, so much back and forth.
I mean, as I'm watching this game develop too, I'm actually favoring Eager more and more for the simple reason they have a Wrath, which means they can hold the Fire Giant for days away from LG. On top of that, they have a split push Bastet and a Janus that can get them in and out of engagements. This is very difficult for LG to fight into now, because DJ can just swing anywhere on the map, especially, which we've not touched on just yet, that he did invest into teleport that will come into play on this jungle Bastet.
He's been getting teleport on Bastet every game that he's played it. He's made such a big impact. Despite all the split pushing that he's been doing, still second on his team, third in the game in overall damage, making an impact everywhere he goes.
Well, the dance of the Fire Giant has begun, and BaRRaCCuDDa has been isolated on the left-hand side to defend the towers there. Because of that, you can see the pressure that Eager are able to put on, and he's masked in trouble. Space and Time will hit, but the Sanctuary would absorb it. The tornado is up, but he's still dead because Divios comes down. Rat from the sky picks up one.
And now Zito's under trouble, getting hit by Valkyrie's Discretion, able to get out. Aror getting pretty deep, taunts everyone in, into the damage from Zapman, but Mass just gets picked off. 3 ultimates were used to finish him, and then the other 2 ults used to continue the chase on LG. But
look at what happened. DJ was the one that initiated, and what does DJ do? Straight over to split push again. He used all his abilities, and he starts to force things elsewhere.
There's the power of the long-range pin. BaRRaCCuDDa forced into the Sanctuary right away. Great Sanctuary there from Freya on Zapman. Just such great response
Jeff
time.
gets banished, and Jeff forced to flop away here. There's no minion wave with them just yet, but it's on its way. Pernicus teleports back in now. Full health, full mana, and has a power pot as well available to him. Gonna steal away the speed. Eager still in control and siege in tier 2.
Yeah, Pern's full build and got the power potion already. Now Zapman under fire from the Dazzling Offensive from Scary.
Scary forced in, Scary forced to commit, and Scary in trouble. Xeno tried to support, but he's forced back as well. The tickle of damage is slowly bleeding LG. They hold their tier 2, but they lose their speed, and maybe even the tier 1 and left.
That's where DJ's looking. He's looking at it right now. Has the Crusher online. Just going to do so much damage to these towers.
Cats come down, and they remove backdoor protections as well. Let's tag the tower shots for you. Jobs are good, and meanwhile, though, LG trying to punish Aror, the last man out the right-hand side here, defending the Fire Giant. The heal's already down. Aror juking, not going to make it out. The portal was there, but didn't deliver. Divios, though, reinitiates.
Used a lot to get him, though, and now Divios, or TheBest, excuse me, going to have to use through space and time just to get away from Scary D. Xenotronics very low.
Back in. Divios look for Xenotronics, but the drums and BaRRa combine to give LG another kill. What's going on in mid aggro?
Oh, it's Bastet split pushing. Your middle Phoenix is gone. Congratulations, you won the fight. But I'm hitting your Phoenix for 221 with the third swing of my auto attack.
Mast is back, and Pern will want the Phoenix. He doesn't care about dying if he can help it. Oh no, is he going to solo him? Mast, no! Now he's going to pounce out, and DJ's taking him on a merry adventure. Meanwhile, what's his team doing? Well, they're not doing fire, thankfully.
Thankfully for Luminosity, they don't do fire. That's DJ just playing Bastet to the fullest. That's using her entire kit basically perfectly. The only thing he probably should have done differently was continue to run after he used that pounce. Just continue to run up that left-hand side. Yep. He still had the Magi's Blessing on him because Scary D missed the silence from his dash. Would have been able to immune the Dazzling Offensive.
Well, last stand for Luminosity here. They're looking for the Fire Giant to try and answer this back. Zapman, though, going to zone them for a second, but the Fire Giant is falling here. Best is here. Zapman's here. Who's going to get it? Luminosity get the Fire Fire Giant. Zapman's in an awkward spot now.
He has Purification, but no Sanctuary. Scary D gonna go in, force that Purification. Aurora just zoning out
Divios
BaRRaCCuDDa.
in the sky, looking to come in on the back at Xeno. Meanwhile, Zapman will fall to BaRRaCCuDDa, but what's Divios doing? He's chasing Xeno. Xeno's back to defend. Great flop from Jeff. Scary's there too. They're gonna force back the boys of Eager.
Divios going on Xeno was absolutely incorrect there. BaRRaCCuDDa was chasing down Zapman, low on health. He definitely should have been going on Barra there with that ultimate instead.
Could he reach though? I don't think he could reach was the issue there though, Aggro.
Possibly. I think that Xeno was a little bit farther back. I was just so
in the moment.
I was so into it, man. Barra needed one more auto, and I was like, is he going to get it? Just one of those crazy moments. And you see the deep warding coming out from Eager.
Yeah.
You see the sentry ward here on the red buff. Not only does this give you information of when the red buff timer is and if you can get a pick on the map, but this is just a beacon for DJ to split push here. Teleport here, split push on this left-hand side. And you see there's not any deep wards for them on the right-hand side. That's because there's no towers. They still have the tower on the left-hand side.
It's true.
That is just waiting. DJ is just waiting to eat that
But
up.
LG need to look at doing that themselves now, right? To put some deep wards in their own jungle, sentry wards mainly, control the area so this teleport can't come through.
But you're wasting a lot of gold then.
That's
and
true.
Even if you see him teleport, you still have to make the decision, are you going to fight or are you going to back? LG almost got that stolen from Aurora.
If Aurora would have stole that, that'd have been a dream.
But, I mean, Zap almost stole that Fire Giant, too. Valkyrie's discretion was very close to getting that fire.
Well, djpernicus back to Warden deep again. Got to get spotted on the rotation, but with Magi's, he can be able to absorb a lot. Space and time comes through. However, Mass was waiting, and DJ's in trouble. DJ's dead. BaRRaCCuDDa gets the kill, but they invested a lot of ultimates there. Actually, not as many as I thought. I actually thought Barras went off, too.
No, but they didn't need it. And that was a get out of jail for DJ there.
Yes.
Best trying to shoot him a lifeline, throwing him a vest in the ocean, but just didn't hit enough walls. It was just an awkward positioning right into the Fire Giant pit, and then there's that
Look at the
big
pings,
gap.
though. Look at the pings. Where is the Rat at the moment? The Rat's going to the left-hand side, but he's going to recall back to base here. LG's pressure in mid lane is forcing Eager to come and defend. They've still got Fire Giant, remember? And they're looking to siege a Phoenix of their own now.
What a turnaround for LG, and it's just after that one pick onto djpernicus. They still have 30 seconds with him down, and the tower push they have with Soul is unbelievable.
But good banish from Zapman there, but Aurora takes a bit of a brunt of damage from the drops of war from Xeno. Divios in the sky, however, may look to reinitiate if they group up together. The med comes through. Luminosity healthy as Divios comes in.
And there's Zapman throwing down the shot. Xeno's gonna dash out. Divios dashes out as well. BaRRaCCuDDa's doing as much as he can. Mask gets a nice double pull. Flop onto Zapman. He's gonna fall.
He will fall down there. The Best can't help him anymore. Now Divios under pressure, forced out as well. The portal from Best will hit 4, but it won't stop LG getting the Phoenix and turning tail.
DJ's back up, just trying to catch the whole of LG, but he won't be able to because of that speed aura from Amaterasu. Instead, BaRRaCCuDDa's left alone. He's the last one out.
But he's got Disapparate there. The bleed did come through, but the Disapparate comes into play. 9-6, 36 minutes in this game. Fire Giant is about to wear off on the boys of LG. It's Phoenix for Phoenix overall here, and it's both in the mid lane as the middle Phoenix for LG does respawn.
And that's the big thing, is that they traded out Phoenixes. Yes, they were able to stop that fire wave and kind of meet it together with another fire wave, completely nullify that earlier split push from DJ, but now their Phoenixes respawned, and they're going to be the only ones with fire waves. I'll bet you DJ is going to be looking, though. That Phoenix is only going to go down in 3-4 hits, maybe. It's not going to take a whole lot with the amount of penetration he has online.
We mentioned BaRRaCCuDDa and Zapman this game, and Zap's not actually been a big part of it so far. 0-3-0. He's been the focus in these fights from LG, wisely so, whereas BaRRaCCuDDa right now, 5-0-1. Once again, he's the leader on his team in KDA.
Doubling Zap's damage right now is BaRRaCCuDDa. We were talking who's going to make the bigger impact with this giant lead that you were able to get. Thus far, it's been BaRRaCCuDDa, and that's been the story of the fall split online, basically.
But then again, I mean, I know we're giving credit to BaRRaCCuDDa here, and Zapman's in a bit of a different situation this game, because his team's looking for calculated split push, right? So they're never really taking 4v5s. They're mainly there to try and force the team of LG one way, while they illusion to the other side of the map and find wins.
That's true, but at some point, you got to have a 5v5 team fight. You're never going to be able to split push down that Titan. And you're right, Zap's time to shine maybe hasn't happened yet, but
it's coming.
We're approaching 40 minutes, and if your time to shine isn't now as Freya, you're never going to have it.
And we saw it in the Noble game versus Allegiance early on. The longer this goes, one team fight can win the game. LG, they need the points. They lost 2-0 to Eager earlier on, and that actually puts Eager in a very comfortable position right now with how the days have gone so far. But Not right now.
But because ALG split with Eager and then Luminosity 2-0 to Legions,
yes,
they're neck and neck. Eager's only got a 1-point lead on Luminosity right now. This game, like we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, has total implication for tomorrow. If either team's able to get a 2-0, they're in a great spot.
Is still in Eager's favor here with where they're placed. They can see full vision of this. DJ around the right-hand side as well. Remember, a Wrath is available for Eager, but JeffHindla took a lot of poke there, and Pern's going to go in on Xeno, who Thunder Crashes on to Pern. Meanwhile, there's a fight between BaRRaCCuDDa on one side, and Zapman being run down by the two rookies from LG, and the rookies are in trouble.
Great taunt, gets both. Now Divios comes crashing down. Scary D gets away with 1 HP. Best does have the snipe available. Not looking for it quite yet. BaRRaCCuDDa doing as much damage as possible, but now he's by himself.
But can the pulse damage come out from Zapman? There's space and time connects. Zap gets his first kill, and he's on BaRRaCCuDDa. Meanwhile, Pernicus teleports back to the fight, picks up JeffHindla, and Zapman gets a double kill. They do have to go back to defend soon, though, or they're going to go for the end.
That's the game. They've got 4 down. There's no reason to even worry about anything else. Push down that weakened middle Phoenix and end the game. It's only Scary D alive for the next, what, 40 seconds?
Well, Phoenix in mid lane is weakened.
Seconds.
The weakened Phoenix going to fall in seconds to Pernicus alone there. Now that it's gone down, they can turn towards the Titan, or will they? It looks like they're going for kills at the same time. No, actually, no, it's Titan. It's Titan.
It's got to be Titan here. Titan's going to fall here. Eager was in control of this game for so long. LG punched back, made a great attempt at a comeback, but just one failed engagement. BaRRaCCuDDa stepped up 1 step too far, tried to get too much damage off. Jeff got burst at the beginning of that fight. It was very split, but the mobility from Eager, we talked about it early. Barra split off, everyone from Eager all of a sudden on the right-hand side to peel for Zapman, and we see it come into play. And then the best, huge snipe onto BaRRaCCuDDa.
Mid-game was all tactical play from Eager. They controlled that with the Wrath, with the ability to be able to split push effectively with a Bastet. But the early game, there's a different story. Early game was crazy shenanigans that saw Hunters get ahead, and fights all over the solo and the fire elementals.
I'm not surprised, and I am surprised, because with Eager, you're never surprised when the weird stuff happens. That's what Eager excels at. They want to make the game as untraditional as possible most of the time. Very much like Orbit in the European
scene. I can
see
that.
They both like to run these different sort of strategies. It's not as straightforward.
Yo, we got another game of this.
Another one.
Another one. Do you want another one?
Another one.
Do you want another one? What about you,
another
analysts?
one.
Do you want another one?
Another one.
Girl, stop doing whatever the hell he's doing over there, all right? You can hear him all the way across. Here's my favorite part of this. We go into that one with the storyline of Zapman versus BaRRaCCuDDa. It's like really half of it maybe. Zapman is 0-3. He does nothing until he wins the game in that last team fight, right? He gets the kill on the Barra, and the rest is history.
I think what really sealed the deal for Eager in that last engagement was that Janus snipe coming out from Best. That was heartbreaking. If I'm Luminosity, I am not expecting, well, at the same time, you know what? Anytime I see a Janus in the game, I kind of do just expect to see somebody die because, that ult doesn't make any sound and it kind of hits you for like 1700 damage because Janus.
There was a lot of plays between Zap and BaRRaCCuDDa that play. Just a lot of action between these magical hunters. Both the Freya and the Soul were just doing so much work. And also, besides the hunters, just the junglers, you can cut the tension with a butter knife between Mask, Aror, and DJ is just so loud in that esports arena.
Watching there was a specific play. DJ went for the split push in the mid lane on the mid lane Phoenix. He takes down the Bird and he takes down Mask. And in that moment, this is the play right here. In this moment, so you get to see the part where DJ takes down the Phoenix and then he's going to go ahead and take down Mask here. But what you don't get to see is what DJ said after the fact. He said, "You scream like a little girl, Mask," in the middle of the arena.
The PG version.
Sure. He takes away Mask's dignity in-game and out-of-game right there. You gotta love that. It was a lot of fun, man, in all honesty. You're getting a good chance to take a look at the pros here, but don't forget, Smite's a big game that you can play at home. And this weekend, there's going to be a big event as well. The Reaping Part 1 through the 14th to the 16th. P.S. Happy birthday. My brother is 22 now on the 14th. That was yesterday. But from the 14th to the 16th, all gods are unplayable. I got to call him. I forgot it was yesterday. That's a problem. 2 times experienced worshippers and favor. I really got to call my brother. I forgot his birthday was yesterday.
How could you not call your brother? I called him when it was his birthday.
So happy birthday to my brother yesterday. We'll pretend like that happened. But seriously, this weekend, double everything. Just make sure to log in and play Smite, and all the gods are available. So at this point, if you still don't have the God Pack, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you can play with all of those gods for free. So as we get back.